All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are great. Like I've said, I've gotten a lot more pushback, especially when I do a LeBron video. You know, they come running to the rescue to defend him and all that. And, you know, they try to crap on Jordan whenever chance they get. No facts. Nothing of any substance. We learn no new information. It's the same parroted talking points. And they didn't have merit then. They don't have merit now. But this one here, I don't know where you go to when you're trying to tear down Michael Jordan. Because that's what this is all about. We're not just evaluating the facts. We're purposely looking for anything we can to tear down Jordan's legacy. Because Jordan's in the way. His resume is impeccable, so somehow we have to try to diminish it. Nobody tried anything until LeBron James comes along and the media just runs with it. You know, their generation, they got to have the GOAT from their generation. They're so sick of hearing about Jordan, but I'm sorry, he's the best. Now, talking about a team accomplishment, I've mentioned this before, about since 1970, the Chicago Bulls were the greatest dynasty. The other dynasties, and Boston had their incredible run in the 50s and 60s, winning 11 out of 13 championships, unheard of, really is. But since that time, the dynasties that we've had in the NBA, the Lakers in the 80s, they won 3 championships in 6 years. 80, 82, and 85. They won 3 in 4 years, which was 85, 87, and 88. 4 in 8 years in 1982, 85, 87, and 88. And 5 in 9 years, which that's quite a dynasty. I mean, that's great. 80, 82, 85, 87, and 88. Phenomenal. In the same decade, you had another dynasty, Boston Celtics, who won 3 championships in 6 years. I consider that a dynasty. 81, 84, and 86. Phenomenal stuff. Okay? You had the Lakers, a three-peat, which is clearly a dynasty. 2000, 2001, and 2002. Only the third three-peat since 1967. So we're approaching 60 years on that one, only the third one. All right. If you want to talk about Kobe Bryant, well, the Lakers as a team, but Kobe, they won 5 in 11 years. Now, that may not be exactly a dynasty, but, the three-peat from 2000 to 2002 and then 09 and 10, winning 5 in 11 years, that's tremendous. San Antonio, they won 3 in 5 years, which is 03, 05, 07. They won 4 in 8 years, 99, 03, 05, 07. 2014 is just too far removed to be any part of a dynasty. And I know LeBron fans have tried so hard to make 2014 some sort of a dynasty. It's not. It's 7 years removed from their more recent championship. It's a standalone 1-year championship. I mean, you're getting ridiculous with the dynasty stuff. 2014 San Antonio was not a dynasty. And then you have Golden State, who won 3 in 4 years, 2015, 17, and 18. And then they won 4 championships in 8 years, if you want to add on the 22 championship to that. So that's what we have, aside from the Bulls winning 6 championships in 8 years. And as far as a specific player, Michael Jordan won 6 championships in 7 seasons, which is just unheard of. Now, even though it's not even close, if you believe the Bulls had the best roster since 1970, which we all know, no, they didn't, and you think they had the weakest competition of all the finals, which is, again, just simply preposterous, ridiculous, stupid, and not just the finals, but playoff competition in general. We all know that's ridiculous as well. The accomplishment that they accomplished is just insane. Now, that's the NBA. Why don't we look at other sports too? Major League Baseball since 1970. The only things that would qualify a dynasty. The New York Yankees won 4 out of 5 championships. Now that's outstanding. Definitely the best one in baseball since probably the Yankees in the 50s and 60s. They won 4 out of 5 in 96, 98, 99, and 2000, a three-peat in there. I remember that. The Oakland A's got a three-peat from 1972 to 1974. Now, I'm only looking back to 1970. Obviously, before that, you had, the Montreal Canadiens, you had the Yankees, you had the Celtics. I mean, Green Bay and the Bears winning a bunch of all that. But just since 1970, since Boston had the best run ever, in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs right now, they're on a streak of winning 3 in 6 years. 2019, 22, and 23. New England won 3 in 5 years, 2014, 2016, and 2018. Tom Brady himself as a player won 4 in 7 years, 2014, 16, 18, and 20. That's pretty remarkable. New England also had another dynasty of 2001, 03, and 4. They won 3 in 4 years. That was tremendous. Dallas Cowboys, 3 in 4 years, 92, 93, and 95. The 49ers won 3 Super Bowls in 6 years, 84, 88, 89. They even had a 4 in 9 year run if you add the 81 season to that. Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, they won 4 championships in 6 years. That's awesome. 74, 75 back-to-back, and then 78, 79 back-to-back. Awesome. How about in hockey? The Chicago Blackhawks, the last one to do anything like that, they won 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years, 2010, 13, and 15. The Edmonton Oilers, they got close, one of the closest. 5 championships in 7 years, 84, 85, and 84, 85. What was it? 80, I think it's 82, 84, 85, 87, 88. Anyway, 5 and 7 years. New York Islanders won 4 straight, 4 straight, 1980 through 1983. Right before that, though, Montreal won 4 straight, 1976 to 1979, and they won 6 in 9 years, really close. 1971, 73, and then the 4 straight, 76 to 79. And then if you go back into the 60s, they actually won 10 in 15 years, which is awesome. Not as good as what Boston did. But again, if you cut it off at 1970, nobody has got 6 championships in 8 years. Okay? Why don't we look at other sports too, since we're looking at North American sports? In the WNBA, there have been some dynasties. The Minnesota Lynx won 4 championships in 7 years. 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2017. Great. The Atlanta Dream won 3 championships in 4 years. 2010, or 09, 10, and 12. Detroit Shock in 03, 06, 08. They won 3 in 6 years. And the first 4 years WNBA was in existence, the Houston Comets won 4 in a row, 97 through 2000. Awesome. How about Major League Soccer? The LA Galaxy won 3 in 4 years, 4 in 11 years. The DC United won 3 in 4 years, 4 in 9 years. How about arena football? Detroit won 4 in 5 years, from 88 to 90, and then in 92. Tampa won 4 in 6 years in the 90s. The Women's National Soccer League, Portland Thorns, won 4 championships in 10 years. That's the biggest dynasty they had. But of all the teams on this list since 1970, covering the last 55 years in all of North American sports, no team won at the clip that the Bulls did. Nobody won 6 championships in 8 years. It didn't happen. Montreal Canadiens won 6 in 9 years, and that was in the 70s. But no one won at a clip of 6 championships in 8 years. And if you want to talk about individually, Michael Jordan won 6 championships in 7 seasons played. That's insane. No one has done it since the 1960s in any sport. Doesn't matter what sport it is. And again, if you want to hold on to the narrative that Bill Cartwright and Scott Williams and Stacey King, Craig Hodges, John Paxson, a very young B.J. Armstrong. You want to hold on to the thought that these guys were somehow like really good players? Go ahead. You can think that all you want. But we all know they were role players. All they were. Horace Grant, he was a solid player. He would have some games that would, he'd get like 2 for 9 shooting with 6 rebounds, kind of disappear. But he was pretty solid. After he left the Bulls, he was actually better than when he was on the Bulls. That's when he was making all those all defenses, or at least I should say once he stopped playing with Michael Jordan after 93. Michael Jordan got to play with the best, say 2 teammates at once was Pippen and Dennis Rodman for those 3 years. And Rodman was between 34 and 37 years old. He turned out to be a great fit for the Bulls, but nobody wanted him. He was a cast-off. Why else would you trade a high-value player like Dennis Rodman for Will Perdue unless you couldn't control him, he was a problem, you didn't know what you were going to do with him? And that's why I made a video about how Dennis Rodman never would have been a top 75 player without Jordan. He probably would have been a Hall of Famer, but no way he's top 75, not even close. If he would have stayed on San Antonio or went somewhere else, I'm sure he would have helped him. But to win that other three-peat, giving him 5 rings, it definitely put him over the top. But that was it. That was as good as Jordan got it, was those 2 players. When you look at some of the other teams, I mean, come on. I mean, are we going to sit here and say that Pippen and Dennis and old Dennis Rodman, because he only played I think he played like 30 games in the 99 season and played like 15 games in the following season. He was done. He was finished. But are we going to say that those 2 guys are better than like Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish? I don't think so. Or James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Or Horace Grant and Pippen? Are they better than Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh? Come on. We know better than that. They're probably about on the same level as Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. I would say pretty close. Now, if you're judging Kevin Love of what he was on Cleveland, that's one thing. But what he was going into Cleveland was a much better player. They got relegated to a go shoot threes in the corner type player. He still made all-stars and all that. But Michael Jordan did not have this plethora of these amazing players, no matter what anybody tries to say. Ron Harper. Everybody acts like it's Ron Harper on the Cavaliers or the Clippers when he was averaging 20-some points a game. He never even averaged double figures when he was on the Bulls. Or Luke Longley. Yeah, he was a decent player, but I mean, come on. Luke Longley, he wasn't even a top 12 center in the NBA at that time. Not even close. I mean, Michael Jordan had 2 guys that were probably top 12 or maybe even 15 at their position on his whole team in any of the years he played in. None of those guys, other than Pippen, Horace Grant, and Dennis Rodman. That's it. Maybe earlier Oakley you could make a case for or whatever. Maybe Orlando Woolridge, he was decent or whatever. But these other guys had killers for teammates. But anyway, that's just one side of the coin. The other side of the coin was the competition. It was stout. The 90s defensively was very good. There was some great all-time players in there. And if it took Jordan to lose to give these guys credibility, I mean, if Ewing beats Jordan in 93 and then goes on to win the championship, now Ewing has credibility. It just doesn't make any sense. No, Jordan beat everybody in his path. And that's the thing. I had some guy yesterday saying about, Jordan never beat Bird and Lakers when they were in their primes. Yeah, fool. They didn't play each other. They're in 2 different eras. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We'll never know who would have won those games. We'll never know. But Michael Jordan and the Bulls did not just win championships. They did not just, have a dynasty. They dominated. That's the thing. Like no other team since since the 60s, basically. I mean, what else can you say? It was a domination when getting the 72 wins. And I know that's been broken since, but not with a championship. Following it up with a 69-win season, 2 three-peats. Nobody has been able to do this. And yes, they were tested. That's why I don't understand. People act like they just swept through everybody. They were bummed. No. The semifinals, the Knicks in 92 took them to 7 games. I mean, they were tested. Every finals went at least 6 games, except for the first one in 91. And that's because Jordan had a historic finals. And John Paxson, they were getting production out of John Paxson, which he never did before. But anyway, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I looked into this at all the major sports in North America in the last 55 years, and even some of the not major sports. No organized North American team in any of the professional leagues have won 6 championships in 8 years. And definitely as an individual player, nobody's won 6 championships in 7 seasons. It's just not happened. So I think it's time that you guys start to recognize Michael Jordan and the Bulls as the great dynasty that they are. In the last half century, they're the greatest North America has to offer. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Until next time.